guys, I want to do a little update video on the race car. I hadn't had a chance to take it to the track but a handful of times, but we took it to Mobile Dragway a few months back for a test and tune night and made a couple passes with it. And the first pass, the car went 704 at 97, shifting at 4,500 RPM, leaving at 3,000. I'll show you that pass now. This was the fastest of the three passes I made that night. The only thing I changed was I upped the shift RPM to 6,200 from 4,500. And you can see here it went a 157 60 foot, 690 at 98.9. The mile an hour, seems pretty good. 60 foot seems a little off to me. Well, you can see here when the front end comes up, it slams it straight back down. Like the rebound's way too soft in the front shocks. It starts to run over the rear tire. So that's an adjustment we're going to make before we head back to the track. So the next chance I had to take the car to the track was last weekend. I took it up to Capital City in Montgomery. And I just want to go over the changes that I made to the car before I took it. As you saw in the last clip, the front end was slamming down just as soon as the front end came to full extension. Well, the car's got a set of adjustable QA1 coilovers on the front. And it had the rebound shock setting set on 0 clicks. So I put those on 6 clicks just to try to slow that rebound down some, and that should help the car come up and stay planted a little bit better. Also, the car's got a non-locked out distributor in it, and they had the heavy silver springs in the Advance. So I wouldn't put the thin silver springs in the Advance. That really seemed to help the throttle response. I also put 2 extra degrees of total timing in it, and I put a 5,000 chip in the shifter. Well, there's a couple classes that I want to run that are small tire, so I had a different set of rims with a set of 275 Pro radials, so I stuck those on the car. It does have a set of 513 gears, so we're just going to see how they work. First pass went pretty well. The 60 foot came down to a lot closer to what I think it needs to be. I hadn't run up there in quite a while, and I lifted at about 450 feet because I couldn't figure out where the finish line was. So that's why the mile per hour and the ET is way down, but that's still faster than I've ever been in the car. Carburetor was acting like it wanted to load up a little bit after the burnout, and the hood is extremely close to the carburetor. For the second pass, we pulled the hood off to see if that helped, and I also put the shift point back at 6,200. right, so pulling the hood off seemed to really help with the carburetor loading up. It didn't act up in the burnout at all. It seemed like it needs just a little bit of jet on the top end, and the secondary seemed like it was leaning out just a little bit. But 141 with a 2 to the 60, 659 with a 2 to the 8th, best DT, best 60 foot by a long shot. I let out just a touch early. Like I said, it seemed like it needs a little bit of jet in the secondary. It's 97.9 miles an hour. Overall, I'm really happy with the performance of the car. It ran great. We're going to need to look into the 4-link. It seemed like off the hit, it's driving to the right just a little bit. We need to see what it's set at and probably add a little bit of preload to it. I'm going to go over the 4-link before I take it back to the track. I know the rear shocks are not optimal, but they'll do for now.